Hey, Anxious Thoughts here, coming at you with another video. What we need to do is we need to talk a little bit about our potting media. So most of you have asked from one time or the other, what is the potting media that I should be using? And my answer is always Sunshine Mix number 4. Now, that's made by SunGrow, and they ship it to 2 different major retailers in 2 different size bags. So if you get it from Home Depot, it's 2.2 cubic feet. If you get it from Lowe's, it's 3 cubic feet. But what's similar about both of those bags is they come to you in a compressed form. Now that means that soil's been squished, it takes up less volume, and it's easier for them to package and ship, so they're not shipping as much air. The problem is that a compressed bale, if you were to simply open that up and start using it in the pots, it's very lumpy. It's got like dirt clods out of soil, and they're very hard to break up and get into the pot without forming big clumps or moving things out of the way. So over the course of all the years that our family has used a pre-bagged soil, we found that really what you need to do is actually break up the soil bag before you open it up and put it into your container you're going to work out of. And the best thing we found for that, if you don't own a mechanical bale breaker, is actually a baseball bat. And let me show you a little bit on how that goes. First of all, when you're breaking up a bale, you don't want to work along the edges of this bale. And you're going to work them with the baseball bat, but you're not going to hit it as hard as you can. You're actually going to kind of hit it lightly until this pillows out or mounds out around the edge. We don't want to break the plastic as that's going to spill soil all over the floor, which we then need to later clean up. And it can also contaminate the soil if there's any weed seeds or anything else like that that's on the ground. So we're going to work all 4 of these edges. We're going to work the ends, and then we're going to work the other side. So it should go just about like this. So you see where I'm softening the edge, but I'm not breaking the plastic. And this is breaking up that dirt clod structure in the soil. That softens it up and preps it for use. Again, not so hard we break it. But hard enough that it fluffs out like a pillow. Flip it to the other side, repeat. Okay, you can see that it's quite pillow-like. I can catch the ends if I need to, but that's pretty well broken up. So I'll stand this one up next to one that hasn't been softened, and you can see you have a round edge here and a square edge here. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, so square edge, round edge. And this is how we want to prep the soil before we put it into our wheelbarrow. And so let me grab one other tool for that, and we'll put it in and I'll show you how it goes. Okay, so the last thing I do is I actually run it through a screen. So this is a 1/2 inch hardware cloth. It fits in my wheelbarrow over the top. I'll go ahead and open up one end. I pour it in there, and then I will pass it through the screen to make sure we're breaking up any clods that might be existing. So as you can see, here's some of those larger clods. So passing it through the screen is going to break those up. It's going to make sure that we're not putting those into our pots that we're working on, and it's going to help us out much, much better. Now, when you're working with potting media, do remember that you do have perlite in there, which can be abrasive or irritating. So wearing a dust mask is not a bad idea. It just depends on how much potting media you're going to be working through. And I do suggest that when you do this, to not fill your screen completely up, because the soil will actually go through quicker when there's less soil as compared to more. So on our farm, we had an automatic pot filler, and it actually did a really good job of breaking up the bales. There was an auger that it ran through, so we didn't get a lot of clumps in our media. But it's also very important from an economic standpoint to make sure that you don't have clumps in there, because clumps of this compressed soil take up less space, which means in your pots, as you fill them up, you are getting more potting media in a smaller space. And potting media is one of your expenses. So you are paying for extra for every clump that's in a pot. So it's very important when you're dealing with fine margins, like in greenhouse and nursery, to break up all those clumps and make sure that they are out of your potting soil. Get you closer so you can see it. When you get close, just dump the remainder in, and then you're going to start over with the next batch. So there you go. There is a nice batch of soil that's been all fluffed up and is now ready for us to put in our 4-inch pots for our plants. Anyway, hope you learned something. Ag Teacher Thoughts out.